I'm just going to show you what book I'm reading from, how much it cost, and then I'm going to read a selection of awful, awful poetry. So, without further ado, from Sir Richard Blackmore's Paraphrase of the Book of Job. I cannot stifle this gigantic woe, nor on my raging grief a muzzle throw. I'm glad, in its entirety, author unknown. I'm glad the sky is painted blue, and the earth is painted green, with such a lot of nice fresh air all sandwiched in between. A Lover's Lament from Harry Edward Mills' Select Sunflowers. I see her in my fondest moods, she haunts the parlor hallway, and yet her form my clasp eludes, her lips my kisses alway. A suffering swain makes a vow from the poem of a young tradesman quoted by Coleridge in the Biographia Literaria. No more will I endure love's pleasing pain, or round my heart's leg tie his galling chain. And this one is one of my personal favorites, from an elegy for Queen Victoria by one of her Indian subjects. Dust to dust and ashes to ashes, into the tomb the great queen dashes. Purple Grapes in its entirety, author unknown. Purple grapes in the marketplace, purple grapes at home, remind me of the pyramids and of the hills of Rome. The opening lines of Alice Meynell's The Shepherdess. She walks, the lady of my delight, a shepherdess of sheep. From a juvenile poem of John Dryden, upon the death of Lord Hastings, who was a victim of smallpox. Blisters with pride swelled, which through's flesh did sprout like rosebuds, stuck the lily skin about. Each little pimple had a tear in it, to wail the fault its rising did commit. A poet discusses the pity he feels for the newborn from J.W. Scholl's The Light Bearer of Liberty. Gooing babies, helpless pygmies, who shall solve your fate's enigmas? Who shall save you from earth's stigmas? A metaphor from Edgar A. Guest's The Crucible of Life. Sacred and sweet is the joy that must come from the furnace of life when you've poured off the scum. A stanza composed by Samuel Johnson as a deliberately bad example. I put my hat upon my head and walked into the Strand, and there I met another man whose hat was in his hand. A lover describes his lady from Thomas Hawley Cheever's Rosalie Lee. Many mellow Sidonian suckets, sweet apples, and thosmiel divine, from the ruby-rimmed Berlin buckets, star-gemmed, lily-shape, high-laying. I don't even know what that word is. Like the sweet golden goblet found growing on the wild emerald cucumber tree, rich, brilliant, like cryopraise going. Wow. Wow. Lines on a Sick Gypsy, author unknown, quoted in the Stuffed Owl Anthology of Bad Verse, edited by D.B. Wyndham Lewis and Charles Lee. There we leave her, far from where her swarthy kindred roam, in the scarlet fever, convalescent home. Thank you. This has been a tour through bad poetry. I'm Johnny C. Thank you for listening.